The countdown to the start of the GOP 2024 nominating contest has officially begun, at least on the calendar. Iowa's Republican Party has chosen January 15th, 2024 for the state's presidential caucus. That's 3 weeks earlier than the past two presidential caucuses. New Hampshire is expected to hold its primary election the following week. Amanda Rooker joins me now. She is the chief political reporter at KCCI, our CBS affiliate in Des Moines. So the Iowa caucus has been as early as January 3rd and as late as February 1st. What does the 15th mean, if it means anything at all?
Well, John, as you mentioned, this is very early. This is the earliest that the presidential nominating process will kick off since 2012. But there were a couple different reasons that went into making this decision when Iowa Republicans voted to solidify January 15th as the caucus date. One being that some of the other early primary states were already starting to queue up dates in February. Iowa wants to make sure that they are first and very clearly first in the nation. A January 15th date really cements that. A couple other things here as well. That date is a federal holiday, so that could play to Iowa Republicans' advantage if people are home for the holiday and more able to go and caucus at a time when maybe they would not. It also is Iowa's legislative session will have started just about a week earlier, so it won't be in the midst of Iowa legislative session, but that will have already started. But one thing that could be interesting to watch here is because this is so early, about a month earlier than we usually see, it really puts the pressure on campaigns and on the party to really organize these caucuses. It could stifle late entries into the race, but it could also be something that is incentive for these campaigns to really hit the ground running, organize their field staff and their campaign here when we're about 6 months out now to the caucuses.
Amanda, Politico reported that a conservative-aligned super PAC is launching an anti-Trump set of ads in early states. That would include Iowa. From what you've seen in your reporting, are there concerns among Iowa Republicans that could be exploited by such an anti-Trump campaign?
Well, John, it is still so early that it's hard to tell, but there are certainly conservative groups out here that think that it's worth spending time, spending resources, spending lots of money on trying to show Iowans alternatives to Donald Trump and try to exploit some vulnerabilities. As you mentioned, there's going to be an ad campaign that focuses, it will launch tomorrow, $3.6 million going into that ad campaign. And it's going to really focus on Donald Trump not being electable if he makes it to a general election. And I think a lot of the focus from a lot of these super PACs is trying to get Iowans to look at a growing field of Republican candidates. As there are still months to go, there is some thought that maybe they may be able to break some Iowans away from that Trump base and start to coalesce around another Trump alternative.
The former president criticized the sitting governor, Kim Reynolds, on his Truth Social app on Monday. He criticized her for staying neutral, near as I could tell from what he wrote. Governor Branstad always stayed neutral, her predecessor. Isn't that kind of what governors do? And do you think this criticism really matters of a popular Republican governor?
Well, John, this is absolutely a tradition for Iowa governors. Iowa governors historically stay neutral. They're trying to lay the groundwork for every candidate that wants to come into the state and campaign. So Governor Reynolds has made it clear that she wants to continue on that tradition, and she has been seen with other candidates as well. Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Ron DeSantis says Donald Trump was not very happy about. Kim Reynolds has appeared with all of those candidates. But it's something that Trump, as DeSantis being kind of his chief rival right now, it's something that clearly got Trump riled up enough to post on Truth Social. And it's something that, again, it's so early to be able to see what the level of impact of that criticism is going to be. But Kim Reynolds is incredibly popular among Republicans in Iowa right now. She was reelected in 2022 by 19 percentage points. Her approval rating among Iowa Republicans right now is near 90%. And also remember, tomorrow in Iowa, there's going to be a special legislative session. So you're going to have Iowa Republicans from all across the state coming together. They're going to be here for a special session. They're going to be here for campaign events this week and next week. And so you're going to have a lot of influential Republicans all in the same room, comparing notes, talking about who they're supporting. And a lot of these are lawmakers and operatives that are very loyal to Governor Reynolds. So having Trump criticize Reynolds could create some blowback. Then again, you also have to look that Trump is still polling relatively well nationally and in early states. And so this may not matter if his lead is as large as it looks like it may be from some of those national polls.
Amanda Rooker on the ground for us, chief political reporter at KCCI in Des Moines. Thanks a lot.